She's a big star. Everyone loved Deb. I get picked up by the second AD, and Deb is in the front seat of the car. So the star is in the front. I get in the back seat. I'm always like, that's a good sign, front seat of the car. I always thought these big stars only sat in the back.
Right.
She had sunglasses on. I never forget, she took off her seatbelt and she turned around on the front seat with her knees on the front seat, and she put out her hand and took off her sunglasses and said, "Hi, I'm Deborra-Lee Furness. Nice to meet you." And I remember thinking, I like this girl.
It is love at first sight. Despite a 13-year age gap, Hugh Jackman had such a huge crush on Deborra-Lee Furness from day one that he started ignoring her for several days to resist his feelings. However, some days later, during a dinner party he was hosting, he invited her into the kitchen to make a dish to buy some extra time alone with her. Both of them were a little bit tipsy, and when she asked him why he hadn't talked to her in a week, this was the time he desperately confessed his feelings to her. But to his surprise, she admitted that she had a crush on him too. Imagine what a magical moment it was for both of them. But what really happened that after all these years, they had to divorce each other? What really changed between them? How was their love story before and after marriage? Well, to consider that story, keep watching this video till the end, and don't forget to subscribe and press the bell button to get notified whenever we upload new videos. Now, let's start from the beginning. Before 1995, Deborra-Lee was among a group of Australians trying to make something big in Hollywood. She is friends with Nicole Kidman and Naomi Watts and the other big names in the industry. A visit to the fortune teller changed the course of her life when she took the fortune teller's words by heart and flew back to Australia to start afresh. On the other hand, Hugh had quite a rough childhood. When he was only 8, his mom disappeared, leaving him only with his dad and 3 older brothers in Australia. It hit little Hugh pretty hard. His dad tried to help, taking him to church and pushing him into sports, but Hugh was a huge mess. He was scared, disturbed, and pissed off. He found his passion in acting and poured his heart into it. He just graduated drama school when he met Deborah on that fateful day. One day, on the set of a new show, Corelli, both of them crossed paths. The producer introduced 40-year-old Deborah, who was a big star back then, to the new co-star, 27-year-old Hugh Jackman, who had just landed his first job.
Deborra-Lee.
Hi, wow.
Nice to meet
You're
you.
something.
The funny thing is that Deborah had previously made a promise to herself. No more dating actors, especially those younger than 30. This was her New Year resolution for that year. But then, Hugh Jackman walked into her life, smoothly shaking off everything she had sworn off. They quickly became good friends. But Jackman found himself falling for Furness from head over heels the moment he saw her. It's a feeling he couldn't ignore. But the secret he didn't know was, Furness also felt the same way, despite her initial doubts about her young co-star. She had been curious about this unknown actor whom she initially perceived not even as the Hugh Jackman.
And then I got this TV show called Corelli, and they said, there's this guy, Jack Human, who's your co-star. I'm like, who?
Eventually, Jackman's feelings for Furness deepened, even though he knew he wasn't being very professional. It was awkward and against the rules, but it was something he couldn't help. To keep things on track, Jackman tried to limit his time with Furness off set, hoping to control his growing feelings. But after a tough week, Jackman found himself longing for a deep conversation with Furness. He cleverly set up a dinner party, complete with drinks and crepe Suzette for dessert. He invited just 20 guests and asked Furness to help him with the dessert, a recipe he had learned from his father. He proposed to her in the kitchen, and the rest is history. Just 11 months later, they finally got married on April 11th, 1996. Jackman had designed an engagement ring for Furness, which carried the Sanskrit inscription Om Paramam Manamar, which means, "We dedicate our union to a greater source." After their wedding, they eagerly started their journey to parenthood, but it wasn't all rainbows and sunshine in their love story. Unfortunately, after the wedding, the couple had to go through multiple tough times together, like miscarriages and unsuccessful IVF attempts. It was a terrible time, but they stuck together and decided to opt for adoption.
So we struggled, a couple of miscarriages, IVF. It was not easy, it was difficult, particularly on Deb. And I remember saying to her, I said, we're always going to adopt. Let's just adopt.
By 2000, they were the proud parents of their adopted son, Oscar. And in 2005, they adopted their daughter, Ava, who has Mexican and German roots. Though they didn't often share family pictures, Jackman sometimes shared touching photos on social media. On their 26th wedding anniversary, he couldn't help but express his admiration for his amazing wife. He celebrated their union, sharing a lovely picture of them walking on the beach. He wrote about their everyday life filled with laughter, happiness, and backgammon games, and how Furness brightened his world. More importantly, the feelings were mutual for Deborra-Lee, too.
Hugh is incredibly disciplined. And I think you have courage because you never back off. You're never scared to try something. He tries everything, and then if he sets the bar there, damn it, he's going to do it. You work really hard.
You see, his love for her was clear in his words.
What are your favorite memories of a day with Oscar and Ava?
Oscar and Ava are really into different things. Naturally, their interests are very, very different. With Oscar, it's all outdoors. And when I'm hiking, camping, fire on the beach, roasting marshmallows, out in the woods, fishing, that kind of thing with him is when I see him at his most relaxed. It's like he's just a born nature kid. His knowledge is unbelievable. And that is when I'm happiest with him. And Ava, we both love music. We both love dance. Just recently, I've been to 4 concerts with her. She's now at that age. When I go to a concert with her and the two of us standing there, and literally I turn somehow into a 12-year-old, and the two of us,
It's just two 12-year-olds.
But as they say, every good thing comes to an end. In 2023, to everyone's surprise, their marriage ended too. And then they spent 27 amazing years together as an adorable married couple until September 2023, when they divorced, making a joint statement that read, "We have been blessed to share almost 3 decades together as husband and wife in a wonderful, loving marriage. Our journey now is shifting, and we have decided to separate to pursue our individual growth. Our family has been and always will be our highest priority. We undertake this next chapter with gratitude, love, and kindness. We greatly appreciate your understanding in respecting our privacy as our family navigates this transition in all of our lives." Though they make it look like a divorce on a positive note, their Instagram activities suggested something more complex. By November 2023, they had stopped following each other, causing fans to wonder. A source told the Daily Mail that Jackman and Furness's relationship began to crumble at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. They went from being lovers to just friends during the lockdown. The source said they were always connected because of their children, but over the years, their love turned into a friendship that broke during COVID. The relationship was further strained during the SAG-AFTRA strikes. The strikes put them in a similar situation as COVID, where they were just going through the motions. Jackman felt that the magic they once had was gone. Furness had similar feelings, and they decided that separating was the best option. But there were still signs of their past relationship on Jackman's Instagram. He hadn't deleted a photo of them at the 2023 Met Gala, and a heartfelt post he made for their wedding anniversary in April was still up. Despite all this, a source claimed that they were still friendly after the split. They were grateful for their time together and their children, and there was no bad blood. The source added that they both wanted the best for each other and their kids. The decision to end their marriage was completely mutual, and they agreed it was the healthiest choice for everyone involved. In September 2023, another source told People that Jackman and Furness were heartbroken about their marriage, heading towards divorce. They explained it wasn't a rash decision. They took their time, considered everything, and made the decision together. They went on separate paths, but they would always be a family. They would always be co-parents and best friends. Right now, both of them are busy getting ready for their new movie releases. One is Deadpool and Wolverine, starring Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, and the other is The Dry 2, starring Deborra-Lee Furness and Eric Bana. So tell me, what touched you most about their relationship? And have you experienced a love that defied expectations? Until next time, see you in the next video, and don't forget to subscribe.